So we're here today with Chief Mitchell of our fine police department for this version of Village Voices, which we're going to talk about public safety. So thanks for joining me today, Chief.
No problem, Aaron. Thank you for having me.
So one of the things that recently happened, and we're happy that we've been recently named as the safest city in Illinois by safety.com. Cities were analyzed on public safety, financial safety, our natural disaster prep, and health metrics. I think this speaks volumes for Orland Park. And what are your thoughts on it?
It certainly does. You know, I thank you, and I'm honored that to have this bestowed upon the Orland Park Police Department and the village. And I know the men and women of the police department actually are appreciative of it too. But it's not just the Orland Park Police Department. It was a village-wide effort in this thing, and I'll explain that. You know, the village board, with the support for funding and resources for the police department, the village manager's office is always being there and ready to assist us any way we can. The public works department aiding us out there in proactive measures during the regional unrest. Development services always there helping the Orland Park Police Department addressing property issues at the infant stages. Communications and marketing with their Wanted Wednesdays that are very, quite frankly, entertaining, that have led to many arrests, and their social media posts that are timely, getting that out to the public to know what's going on. And of course, my mentor, Chief McCarthy, who kind of led the path of where this organization is going now. And it's being a state-of-the-art police department with highly professional people.
Yeah, and as you know, I have great respect for our police department from the top down. Our leadership, our officers, our support staff all do a phenomenal job. And you know, one of the things that we also have done in the last few years is we proactively to help drive these our crime to the lowest level it's been in 26 years, is that we've been partnering with neighboring communities on some specific programs and task forces. Could you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure. So we created a regional auto theft task force after seeing an uptick in number of stolen motor vehicles that are occurring regionally. So we met with and collaborated with many law enforcement agencies in the south suburbs. So we stood that up, and it's been highly, highly effective, and substantial arrests have been taking place as a result of that. Additionally, we recently met with and spoke and discussed a potential task force for carjackings with local, state, and federal sister agencies working in collaboration to address this regional epidemic.
And do you think that one of the reasons why we have lower crime is because we clear cases, because we catch them, because we know that there's a lot more pressure than there's been in the past based on everything that's being let go out of Cook County, but we're still seeing crime drop? Is that a large reason why? Yes,
and let me explain that. One of the things we have is we've got partnership with businesses, right? We sit down with the businesses, we start to see an increase in crime within that organization. We'll sit down with them, we'll talk to them about some potential best practices. We additionally work with our community. We have a very alert and very vigilant public that wants to go out there and assist the Orland Park Police Department any way they can. Additionally, we provide some outstanding training to our law enforcement officers. We got state-of-the-art equipment. And because of that, our clearance rates are so high, they're higher than the national and Midwest ranges according to the FBI. So right. Don't commit a crime in Orland Park because we're going to catch you.
Recently, the board unanimously passed a resolution that called for the governor to veto HB 3653. And some of our viewers are aware of that bill and what it means. But from a police officer's perspective, could you give me your perspective on HB 3653?
Certainly. So first off, we'd like to say it's uplifting to see the village board support us in this particular thing. This particular bill was passed in the early morning hours on a lame duck session. There's things about that bill that are concerning for law enforcement. If in fact our camera is not put on, our body camera is not put on, or it's intentionally turned off, or it's turned off, that's a Class 3 felony. A Class 3 felony in the state of Illinois. We charge and imprison our officers as a result of that. This no cash bond, no cash bond anymore is a concern for us. You know, we see repeat offenders constantly coming back on the streets, committing more crimes. It's frustrating for us because it's difficult for us to address those concerns when we have people who have no accountability.
So that leads me into a question. In your opinion, what's the biggest impediment to battling crime in Orland Park?
Simply put, this catch and release program, orchestrated by politicians, policymakers, and now Springfield. Again, frustrating when you have repeat offenders walking the street committing more crimes. 90% of our crimes in Orland Park are committed by people that had already been arrested previously.
Yeah, and that's obviously unacceptable. But even in spite of all that, because of how proactive we've been, we've had some very good crime statistics. Could you let the viewers know what our crime statistics look like for the last year?
Sure. So in 2020, we had a 29% decrease in overall crime versus 2019. Those are uniform crime reports. Where was the biggest decrease? Was in property crime. We have over 12 million square feet of commercial retail property here. That drives a lot of our crime is retail thefts. COVID, truthfully, had a role in that, but not all of it. Our commercial burglaries were down to 13, a historic low number of commercial burglaries that occurred in Orland Park, to 13. When regional unrest was occurring other locations, Orland Park held the ground and saved those businesses. And that's a true tribute to the professionalism of the men and women in the Orland Park Police Department.
Yeah, I can speak for myself as well as all the other residents. I thank you for keeping us safe, and I know I was there, so it was a very busy night, that first night, and your advice and Chief McCarthy's advice and leadership through all this was critical, and I certainly appreciate it. One of the things that I hear all the time, it's this perception that the Orland Square Mall is unsafe, and it's obviously often advanced via social media posts and things like that. And I know that's not true, but could you give me your perspective? My
perspective is that the Orland Square Mall is the safest mall in the Chicagoland area, period. Comparing stats, not demographics, we have less crime occurring at that mall than any other mall in the Chicagoland area, period. We are there. We are implementing proactive measures day in and day out there, and there will be more to come very soon.
And one of the things that people don't understand is that we have 24/7 access to their security offices and their security systems. So could you expand on that a little bit?
Certainly. We have that access there. We have a great partnership with Simon Properties. Their camera system, our camera systems had led to tremendous number of arrests in or around that area, even outside the mall. On LaGrange Road, 151st Street, based on that partnership and their cameras.
What can the community do to help you make Orland Park safer?
As they're doing right now, remaining vigilant, being alert. No matter how trivial they think something is that may be suspicious, call 911. See something, say something, and do it now. That's important.
And I know one of the things we saw last year is our call volume, which some of that is us being proactive, because that counts as a call even if it wasn't called from the public, but our call volume went from 200,000 in 2019 to 270,000 in 2020. So you guys are very busy and very proactive.
We are, and we appreciate when people call the police department regarding issues. It's better to address it in the earliest stages than have to do an investigation later on. It takes more time.
Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the residents while you have the opportunity?
I would. I've been in this organization for 26 years. I have never seen the amount of support that we've received from the public, from the phone calls, to the letters, to the emails, to dropping off food. I'm tremendously humbled by all that, and I want to thank the Village of Orland Park public for recognizing the efforts of the men and women of the police department.
And I would like to do the same as well. The public has been great, very supportive of the police. And I know they were very supportive of the board as we supported you by declaring June the Police Department Month, as well as recently with the HB 3653. So I know we have the full support of our residents to make sure that we keep us safe.
Yes, and thank you for that.
Thank you very much for joining me today, Chief Mitchell. Appreciate it.
Take care. Thanks.